Morning.
Morning.
What you doing?
Doing my laundry. No underpants today, just towels.
You sure do love this washing machine.
Pre-washing in here by shaking all the bedding out before I put them in.
Right. He's rigged up a way that he doesn't have to move the washer this year. He has a PVC pipe that he attaches to the drain hose, and so it can still reach out into the milk house. Well, today is Saturday, November 29th, and as you can see, as Jonathan Green and Phil Cianciola on WTMJ used to describe it, the White Death is upon us. We were forecasted to have 9 to 13 inches between 3 a.m. this morning and 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. So far, it's not bad. Just want to thank everybody for your response to the update video, all of your kind comments and wishes for a happy Thanksgiving. And we trust everybody had a good day with friends and family. I forgot that you use it too to fill it. Wicked smart. Hi, Blanche girl. We had a herd check last night. Unfortunately, our old Blanche is expecting a baby. She was pregnant several months ago, but lost the pregnancy. And Lydia reminded me last night that she was actually carrying twins. The vet had done an ultrasound, and yeah, so she lost that pregnancy, and it's been kind of tough getting her settled since. But fortunately, last night we found out she's pregnant, so we're thankful. Blanche is a good old cow, and I did not want to move her along yet. That neighbor Dixie is another one who's expecting a child. We had a good herd check last night after the last couple not being so great, but the heat of the summer is very tough on them, and Dr. Rob told us that typically it takes about 60 days for them to recover from that heat, and he was right, because herd check last night was much better conception rate. Pickles is almost a week overdue, but we've kind of found that this year, I'm wondering if our breeding calendar on which I was getting the dates for due dates was actually a little off, because not every cow has calved late, but it's been kind of a characteristic this year. She's plenty loose in the back, but not really filling her udder yet. Right, Pickles? You're saying don't share all this personal information. Found out last night too, Olive is expecting a baby. Thankful for that one. I'll point out this first calf heifer to you. This is Diana. Diana had her very first calf here a few days ago, which I'll show you in a little bit. She's behaving well for the farmer, getting milked. This is our girl Stormy. I'll point out her calf to you in a bit. Stormy's neighbor Violet, who's now also expecting a baby. This is our girl Annie. Annie had a calf 2 nights ago, and we had her out in the shed. Keith had given her a calcium bolus before we left the barn, but we came out yesterday morning. She had her calf, a little bull calf, but she was in need of calcium, so unfortunately we had to call one of the vets out to administer an IV to her, and we're very thankful she's doing okay now. She's gotten a couple more boluses since that time. For those of you who are in the dairy business, our vet was telling us last night about a fairly new product that maybe we can explain sometime. It's a bolus, but it was kind of found because unfortunately a bunch of cows and horses down in Uruguay had died because they were eating a plant that was basically causing calcification of organs, and it had to do with the vitamin D3 level in it. So there's a very smart veterinarian slash dairy nutritionist who's done the research and been able to come up with a product that includes just a little bit of the leaf from that plant. And dairies that are using it are finding it extremely effective in treating milk fever. So talking with him last night and then talking with Keith, we're gonna give it a try as well, and I think we'll see good results. So this is Diana's calf. I'm not sure if Lydia has named her yet because her grandmother is Queen Esther, mother is Princess Diana. So Lydia was trying to come up with an appropriate name. If anybody has an idea, let me know. I'm not sure if she's the one that she was thinking about. She didn't like so much. I told her Mary Queen of Scots, but she wasn't going for that one. This is Annie's bull calf. Everybody's doing well so far. Stormy's calf, Lydia named her Blizzard. She had another heifer whose name was Lightning. So as a lot of you know, we purchased corn silage from Keith's cousin Brian, who lives just a few miles down the road. And so yesterday they took the wagon down there to have it filled, but didn't find out until late last night that it was ready to go. So this morning when we got up, about 3:30, Keith and Wilson popped over to Brian's to bring the wagon home before the snow got bad. Still kind of waiting for the snow to get bad, but we've got hours to go yet. Typically we are not feeding this silage all year round because once the sweet corn silage starts coming late summer into the fall, we feed that while we wait for the silage to be harvested and fermented a bit. So usually sometime in November we start getting the silage from Brian again. And I think the reason why Keith feeds this end first is because he's got a couple animals along here who like to submarine him if they are not occupied with eating when he comes by. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yep. One of the bigger offenders is Gina. Right here. They have amazingly strong heads and neck muscles. You guys feel free to eat. Yeah, feel free to eat.
Hello, it's snowing. I think my mom already opened this video, so I don't really need to do that, but I've got the tractor warming up out here and I'm going to try to clean the barn. I don't know what's already been said by my mother in this video, but we've probably got about 4 inches of snow on the ground, 4 to 5 maybe, and we're predicted to keep snowing for about, oh my, suppose I should have checked that. We are expected to keep snowing here for about another 12 hours at least, and by the end of it we're supposed to end up with, I don't know, 10 inches probably at least. So we'll see how that goes, but backing up to the spreader now, so it's all covered in snow. See if I can hook this up with one hand. Maybe not. There we go. Hi girls. When I open this gate, I've got to make sure that I clear a spot for my handle to be. so I don't lose it in the snow. But these guys are all packing their way into this shed. There is another shed for them, but down over there, but I guess they like standing out in the snow. Is that right, Tilda? Yeah. We have snowmobile trails come across our property during the winter. Just goes across the front, kind of through the woods, and then out the back side of our property. And I would assume that they're either going to come through with a groomer either tonight or tomorrow morning, and then trails will be open right away, still in November. That's a first in the last few years, I'm sure. Really, the past few years we've had snow, well, significant snow, right in January, maybe February, for a couple weeks, and then it's gone. So this is definitely different to be getting our first big snowstorm right at the end of November. Alright, so a new development in the barn. Heifer Sweet Caroline had a baby girl. I found her when I came in the barn today. I didn't know that a cow was... We were watching a cow to have a calf today, but she had a healthy baby girl. And I took her up to Mom. Mom licked her off. Yep, this is Mama. Sweet Caroline is her name. And yeah, seems we have a healthy baby girl and a healthy mother, so that's good. Before I can clean the barn, I need to scrape the floor, clean out the stalls, pick up bedding from behind the cows that they have knocked into the gutter, and then I can turn the barn cleaner on and clean the barn. Alright, I didn't get any film of it, but I've cleaned up all the dry bedding out of the gutters and flipped up the bridges at the end. These grates don't need to be picked up because they're before the corner up there. The corner up there, sometimes it bunches up and gets really tall. So then grates on this side need to be flipped up, like the one down there, and then the other one way down at the end, so that they don't get caught by the manure. But these ones are okay. Cleaned up the floor, so everything should be ready now for me to flip it on. It's a good sign when you flip the barn cleaner on and everything starts moving, especially during the winter. Mom is giving the heifers in the back some fresh bedding so that they can stay comfy, dry, and warm. Right?
For 12 hours or so.
For a little while. They pack it down pretty quickly and get it wet.
We have a bit of a space issue.
Indeed.
We've been blessed with a lot of heifers. We're thankful, but pretty tight space.
Alright, the gutters are done running. So now I am heading out to the tractor through the snow, trying to see where I'm going. And we're going to take this out to a field and haul it out. You can see the snow is already accumulating on the load of manure. At least it's warm in the tractor. Difficulty to note with hauling manure in the winter time, more specifically when there is snow on the ground, is finding where I last was hauling manure, finding my place. Now that isn't a problem after a day or so, or after the snow is done, because I'm laying down a new reference point right now. But when you're just coming into new snow, it's very hard to find where you were. Sometimes you can see in the stubble where your tracks are, which is kind of what I'm following right now, but it is a difficulty in the snow when hauling manure for sure. Does make everything look very clean despite the difficulties it poses sometimes. I do enjoy it usually, as long as it's not stopping me from doing anything. In the winter, it's especially important that you scrape off everything around the back of the spreader, on the beaters and everything, because if you don't, obviously this will all freeze and it won't thaw out for quite a long time. So you'll have frozen beaters, frozen gate, you might even end up with a frozen chain. So it's very important to keep everything scraped off as best as you can, at least. Obviously it's not going to be spotless clean because it's a manure spreader, but got to keep it clean enough that it's not gonna freeze solid. Alright, well, the snow's coming down, the sun's gonna be going down soon, and I have a lot to do yet, so I think I'm gonna cut the video off here so I can focus on getting my stuff done before it gets dark and even colder. So it's not much of a video, but I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully more to come soon, and yeah, cold, snow, winter has begun for sure. But I hope you enjoyed the video. That's gonna be about it. So thanks for watching. More to come soon, hopefully.